Hey, fourth grade. I'm so glad to see you guys this morning on the first day of Spirit Week. This is going to be your math lesson, but I hope all of you are joining me in your pajamas. I'm in my pajamas still, and we'll be all day. I'm super excited about it. All right, so for today's math lesson, you're going to need two things. You're going to need your grade 4 super bright yellow FSA mathematics reference sheet. We'll be using this during all of our math lessons this week. And you will also need to grab your Monday math paper. I'll be going over some problems with on this with you after I do a few practice problems together. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and let's take a look at that reference sheet together. You've all seen it before. It's been in our math notebooks, but let's just look at it one more time together. All right, here we go. Okay, so you can take a look at the reference sheet. It has on it some conversions, and that's what we're going to be learning about this week and next, is how to convert customary units of measure and metric units in length and volume and capacity and all of that. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here on our paper. We're going to be today dealing with these top customary conversions. 1 foot equals 12 inches. 1 yard equals 3 feet, 1 mile equals 5,280 feet, and 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. So these are the units of measure we're going to be working with today. We will be touching base on all the rest of these conversions later this week and next week. So please be sure you hold on to this reference sheet. You will need it. And the other really important thing to remember about this is you don't have to memorize all of these conversions. You are going to have this reference sheet to use. So don't worry about memorizing these things, okay? Although I'm pretty sure most of you know that 12 inches equals 1 foot. All right, so let's go ahead and hop right into converting units. So one of the super important things to remember is that whenever we're going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we're going to use division. And whenever we go from a larger unit to a smaller unit, we're going to use multiplication. Okay, so this I'm going to leave at the top of my paper so I remember that it's going to be my reference. And when we start doing some practice problems together after the lesson, I'm going to have you write it on the top of your paper as well. All right, so let's go ahead and work one out. So I see I have 6 yards, and it's asking me how many feet does that equal. So I'm going to come down here to my conversion chart, and I'm going to find yards. I see on here that 1 yard equals 3 feet. So I'm going from a larger unit and getting to a smaller unit because feet are smaller than yards. So I'm going to be using multiplication. So I'm going to set up my problem just like this. It's going to be 6 times 3 equals, because 1 yard equals 3 feet. If I'm trying to figure out how many feet are in 6 yards, I'm going to multiply it by 3. And 6 times 3 is 18. So 18 feet, 6 yards equals 18 feet. All right, let's try one where we're going from smaller to larger. So here I have 84 inches equals how many feet? Inches is a smaller unit of measure than a foot. An inch is smaller than feet. So I'm going to divide. So if I were to set this problem up, I could set it up just like this. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can see my whole paper. Very good. I'm going to divide 84 by 12. Now we haven't done double-digit division just like this, but I also know you kids can count by 12s. So we are going to be dividing by 12, but we're also going to, if you need to think of it this way, you can think about it as 12 times what number equals 84. Because remember, division and multiplication are inverse operations, so we can use them inversely, oppositely. All right, so I'm going to count by 12s up to 84 to figure out 12 times what number equals 84. Are you ready? 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 7284. So I know that 7 times 12 is 84. So 84 inches equals 7 feet. Very good. All right, on your paper, today I'm gonna have to slide down. We're gonna need a little extra space for this one. You not only have to convert once in some of these problems, but you have to convert it twice. So you'll notice this question asks us, how many inches are in a yard? Well, if I look at my conversion chart, I see the yards equal feet, but I don't see a yards equals inches. But in my head, I'm going to be thinking, oh, 1 yard equals 3 feet, and I know that 1 foot equals 12 inches. So to solve this problem, I'm going to have to do 2 different conversions. I'm going to have to first convert my yards to feet, and I'm going to abbreviate, and I know it's 3. And then I'm gonna have to do feet to inches. So when you find one that has yards to inches, this is what you're gonna do, kids. And there are a few of them on your work for today. So I know that I'm going from yards to feet. So yards are bigger than feet, so I'm going to, very good, multiply. What am I going to multiply? Over here it says 1 yard equals 3 feet. So I'm going to multiply by 3. So now I know how many feet are in 3 yards, but that's not what it's asking me. It's asking me for inches. So now I'm going to convert these feet into inches. So I'm going to write 9 down here in feet. 9 feet equals how many inches? Now I know that 1 foot equals 12 inches, and it's a larger unit going to a smaller unit, so I'm going to multiply 9 times 12. And if I need to, I'm going to move this, I can do this off to the side. 12 times 9 equals 108. So now I have my conversion. 3 yards equals 108 inches. All right, let's try one more type of problem you're going to see today, and that is a problem with fractions. Now, you guys have learned all about fractions, so this shouldn't worry you. We are going to do this together. So I'm going from feet to inches, and I come down here and I see 1 foot equals 12 inches, so we're going from the larger unit to the smaller unit. So what are we going to do? Multiply or divide? Very good. Multiply. I'm just going to write that up here so that I remember that's what I'm doing. All right. Now I'm going to break apart this fraction, 7 3/4. Remember, we learned before that 7 plus 3/4 equals 7 3/4, right? So I can break this number up into the whole number part and the fraction part. And now I'm ready to work. So I have 7 feet, and I'm going to multiply it by 12 because 1 foot equals 12 inches. And 7 times 12 is 84. But I'm not done yet because I still have this 3/4 here. So now I'm going to multiply 3/4 by 12. And remember, we learned that we can make any whole number a fraction by putting it over 1. And when we multiply straight across. So now I'm going to multiply 3 by 12, 12, 24, 36, and 4 times 1. Now we need to be able to add 84 inches plus this. But this isn't in a whole number. Now I need to remember everything I know about fractions. This fraction bar can also be a division sign. 36 divided by 4. 36 divided by 4 equals, if you said 9, you were right. So now I have my whole number part and my fraction part, and I need to add them together. So over here to this side, I'm going to add 84 plus 9. 4 plus 9 is 13. Carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. So now I have 93 inches. All right, go ahead and grab your worksheet for today, and we're just going to talk through a few of the problems at the very top, give you a little extra practice. We have done some conversions before, but this is fairly new for a lot of us. All right, so on this paper, at the very top, it gives you an example of that type of conversion I told you where we are converting from, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for you, from yards to inches. And remember, that means that we have to convert it twice, from yards to feet, and then feet to inches. And they worked it out for you, convert 6 yards to inches. So there are 12 inches in a foot, and there are 3 feet in a yard. So we're going to multiply first the number of yards to feet. So we go 6 times 12. And then that answer times 3, and our answer is 216 inches. At the very top, I want you to write small, arrow big. We are going to do what? Multiply or divide, do you remember? We're going to divide. Big to small, we are going to multiply. So leave that at the top of your paper and write that in. It'll help you as a quick reference. All right, so let's go ahead and do some guided practice. These are just kind of questions to get you thinking about the conversions. It says, does it take more inches or feet to equal a given length? What do you think? Would you need more inches or more feet? If you said more inches, you were right, because inches are smaller. So if I was measuring something, it would be more in inches than it would be in feet, because feet is a larger unit of measure. All right, so it says, which is a greater distance, 9 yards or 9 miles? So for this one, because I don't know all of my measurements right off the top of my head, I'm going to look. I see that 1 yard equals 3 feet, and 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. So is 9 miles bigger or 9 yards? Using this conversion chart, I see that yards is the smaller unit of measure because it takes 1,760 yards to equal 1 mile. So I'm going to say 9 miles, and I'm just going to circle it. Is going to be the greater distance. All right, let's go ahead and work on some conversions. Off to the side here, it says 2 miles equals how many yards? Now again, we are going from yards, which we just decided is bigger, to yards, which is smaller. So what am I going to do? Multiply or divide? If you said multiply, you are correct. So now I know that I'm going to multiply. And I'm going to come down to my conversion chart and find out what I need to multiply. I'm going to find the miles equals yards. 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. So I'm going to multiply 1,760 by 2. And I'm going to actually change the way I'm writing this out because I will need a little more help multiplying it, and it's easier for me to do up and down. Okay? So 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1, 15. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So I see that 2 miles equals 3,520 yards. Good job. All right, let's do one more. This is one with fractions. So I'm actually going to grab an extra sheet of paper because I'm going to need to work this out, and they don't give us much space on this paper. So the first thing we need to do when we see a fraction in a conversion problem, we need to remember that we can decompose that mixed number into its whole number part and its fraction part. So on my paper here, I'm going to write 4, which is the whole number part, and 2/3, which is the fraction part. I'm going from yards to feet, and I see that 1 yard equals 3 feet. and I'm going from the bigger to the smaller. So am I going to divide or multiply? Very good. If you said multiply, you are right. So now I'm going to multiply. On this paper, I'm going to go ahead and write my multiplication sign, and I'm going to figure out what I need to multiply by. Okay, so yards equals 3 feet. So we're going to be multiplying by 3. So now let's take a look at what we have here. We have 4 times 3. You guys know that. It is 12. And we have 2/3 times 3. And we're going to remember what we know about fractions. We're going to put that 3 over 1. And we're going to multiply straight across. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. Now, I could leave it like this, 12 and 6/3. That would be an answer. But I could also go ahead and simplify this fraction using my knowledge of fraction bars equaling the division sign. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now I can't just stop there. I have to add both those together. 12 plus 2 equals 14. So 4 2/3 yards equals 14 feet. All right, kids, I hope that helped you a lot. As always, you can reach out to me or to Miss Donahue or Miss Fallon if you need help with this. Make sure you watch this video as many times as you need to. Use that conversion chart. It's going to help you. And make sure you write on the top, small to big, we divide, big to small, we multiply. All right, I hope you guys have a great Monday, and I will be seeing you later on our Zoom lesson.